This is our local 706 hair education portion. Julie Socash is our leader of this, so give her a big hand.
Okay.
And first we're going to introduce Dominique Evans. She is a seasoned professional with dual licenses and over 20 years experience, mixed with some Hollywood glam under her belt. Thank you for joining us in this experience where you will learn from one of the best in the business and discover artistry, and finesse that defines Dominique's styles and techniques. Let's give a warm welcome to Dominique.
Is it on? Yeah. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you for having me today. Some of you guys have come from far away. Some of you guys have come close. Either way, thank you for taking the time out on this Sunday to come stand and sit and just taking a little bit of knowledge to be better at your craft. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. This is my model, Sania. She's a stylist as well. She does natural hair. So if anybody needs a little woo-woo-woo, feel free to reach out to her. I'm gonna turn this down just a bit if possible. Oh, thank you. I felt like I was yelling at y'all. Even though I'm yelling at y'all, I felt like I was yelling at y'all. All right. So if you guys, has anybody ever had any experience with cutting hair besides, you know, cosmetology? Yes. Yeah? Very well, very well, very well. Okay, well, just backing up, kicking back on what she said, my name is Dominique Evans. I've been a barber for over 20 years. I've been a licensed barber for over 20 years. I've been a licensed cosmetologist for the last 3 years, which has gotten me inside the union. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. You know, thank you. I got in on the TV show Blackish, so it gave me all my days. Thank you. We got nominated for an Emmy. Fortunately, we didn't get it, but I was in the building. You know, so thank you everybody for coming. Like I said, my name is Dominique Evans. I'm a 10-time first place winner. I've competed on stages from here to the Bay Area to Bronner Brothers as well. She was with me. Yes, we dressed up as Avatar. It was an amazing experience. So I just want to say thank you once again, you know, everybody for coming and taking the time to greet me and take some of my knowledge. Thank you very much. Give yourself a hand. Okay, so as you can see, I have this board. So by the end of this lesson, everyone should have, excuse me, everyone should have the basic knowledge of tools and terminology along with a solid understanding of how to construct a beautiful, modern, textured haircut on my model, as you can see. Textured haircut and style. With all the confidence in the world. Because without it, where would we be? So are you guys familiar with your tools? Like barbering tools? Okay. 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 So what's this? Oh. Like a fall. Facts. So, you know, this is your adjustable clipper. You know, this is your magic clip. Okay. You have your detachables. You say you don't use them? Why you don't use them? What are you afraid of? These are really great for clipper over comb technique. So if you decide to switch into a clipper over comb technique, this is a really great tool for it. Then you have your liners. T-liners, yeah, regular T-liners or your regular style liners. As you all see, I'm a cordless girl. All of that. It's not for me. So it's just much better this way. So if you have the ability to switch over to cordless, please do. Some people prefer the corded. You know, it's just preference. It's a power aspect, or maybe that's just what they have. So, you know. Then you have the super close. Are you guys familiar with this? Yes, this is the shaver. It's a 5, what is this, a 517-0? It's like to the skin. It makes you feel like as if you never had hair. Yeah, like, yeah. It reminds you somewhat of kind of like a Remington. Yeah, something like that. So, when it comes to your tools, what do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer corded or cordless? Yes, when it comes to clippers, you prefer cordless? Why?
I like both. I like to day check with corded things so I don't get to work and find out something didn't charge and start freaking out. But I do love my cordless items for when I'm in a reliable environment. Does that make sense?
Yes. Because now you know you have a plug here, you have a, it's very much reliable. Mr. Gabe, can you run to the car and get the Beyonce? Y'all see. So, I mean, like I said, cordless and corded, it's just preference. You know what I mean? It literally is what you desire. What fits best at your station, what fits best when you go to your client's house, what fits best when you're in a stationary position. It's not always convenient to have a cord, but it's always convenient to be cordless. So that's just, you know, my recommendation as a vet. But, you know, when it comes to cutting wet or dry hair, I feel like people can get intimidated when it comes to doing a wet haircut. They feel like they have to go in with scissors. You can. There is no problem with going in with scissors. None at all. That shows a lot of texture, a lot of technique. There isn't anything wrong with that. But if you desire to use your clippers to go in on wet hair, the blade needs to be wide tooth, a wide tooth blade. When I say wide tooth, I mean like this, like the wide tooth, not this. If you go in this, the hair is just gonna bend in with the stroke. It's just messy, like cutting silk. So you need a wide tooth comb, a wide tooth blade to go ahead and cut wet hair. When it comes to doing dry hair, any blade, normal, wide, whatever you desire, it works. But if you want to do a fade, a prompted fade, you need a normal blade or a closed tooth, meaning closed. They have a designed fade blade that allows you to actually have that experience without having to guess whether it's normal or not. It's literally called the fade blade, but it's really close. Excuse me. So if you don't have the shortness of the stroke that you would need to do that, I suggest you just go ahead and get the regular blade that comes with your clippers. It's whatever blade that comes on it, you know, just the normal blade. But like I said, if you desire to go ahead and do like a super close fade, meaning super close, meaning using this at the bottom, the shaver. If you desire to use this at the bottom, I would advise you to go ahead and purchase the fade blade because it gets really, really close. Zero gap is, it gets zero gapped, but it gets even closer than a zero gap. So it just makes the fade easier from zero, having to use this to kind of clean that little bald line out. You guys know what I'm talking about? Lord, that bald line is, ooh, we've all had that issue, right? Facts, leaving the line and then you try to fix it. Haircut end up here.
I'm sorry, Dom.
Please.
The blade is a detachable thing that goes on the fadeless. I missed that part.
No. The fade blade is a regular blade. You can buy it and attach it to your masters, to your, mostly to your Andis masters. I don't know how they make it now with Babyliss. I'm not sure because I don't use Babyliss products.
Okay.
This is the only Babyliss product I have.
It's a shame. I guess they make a fade blade too, so that's why I was. Okay. So.
No problem, please. Does anyone have questions? No questions?
originally taught when I went to school, with scissors and combs.
Okay,
Until we got right down to the point where you needed a razor.
okay,
Some of it,
okay.
I
Oh,
learned how to do clipper cuts, but
okay.
if you don't know how to do it with scissors and combs.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that either. You know, some of us aren't as experienced, fortunately, to be able to do a bald with a scissor. I'm not even that experienced, but.
Oh, I'm not saying I can do it well. I whip out those clippers and have a 5-foot.
Thank you. Okay. Well, like I said earlier, the difference between these blades when you want to do dry hair or wet hair, fade, you know, anything like that, you can all do all of these things with the normal blade except for do a wet haircut. If you try to do a wet haircut with these normal blades, it will take you a little bit more time. Have you ever heard the clipper do eh? So when it does that, that means the hair is too thick for the blade. So one of two things need to happen. Either you need to go ahead and put oil on your liners or clippers, or go ahead and make that part of the hair thinner. That's what happens when you have the closed tooth blade. You know what I mean? So boom, boom. What's the difference? Closed tooth blade. Wide tooth? Okay. What is the wet hair? What blade you need? And what blade you need for the fade? Yes, somebody was listening. Yes, thank you. So we're gonna go down to the actual clippers now. So the difference between, like we were talking about earlier, when you go into a corded clipper, I don't have any up here to show you, unfortunately. I wish I did, but I don't have any. I got some later though. But right now, we got the cordless. So when you use cordless, for me, the difference between the corded and cordless is definitely a source of power. Do you hear this? It sounds very nice because they've been charged and yeah. But when you plug that liner in, it'd be like, cack, and turn on. Y'all know that sound I'm talking about. Cack. Cack. No, but that sound right there is a sound that I don't care who you are. When you hear that sound come on, you know somebody's getting some type of haircut. Something's getting done with a blade. Something's getting done. Unfortunately, let me see. Nope. So y'all know the sound. So that right there lets you know when it comes to power. That is the difference from your power between your corded and cordless clippers. I know everybody says they know things about their tools, they know about clippers already, but there are just some things that you know and you don't know just from experience, you know what I mean? Like that cack, that comes from experience. So if you don't hear that, understand that they're using cordless clippers, and it's still gonna give you the same result, it's just their preference, you know? So the next thing is the weight. When you use them corded clippers, baby, those clippers are so heavy. It's not that it's too heavy to manage, but when it comes to using something like this, that's so much lighter, even when it comes to ounces, when you're standing there all day, 10, 8, 12 hours a day, touching up in the shop, on set, wherever you may be, in your backyard, whatever the case may be, those ounces make a difference when it comes to using your clippers. Your shoulders messed up, your neck messed up. How many of us got to go to the doctor? Oh, baby, me too. Don't worry about it. Gang, gang. Gang, gang. You know what I mean? So it just happens like that. So why not try to use something that'll actually be better for the ergonomics? All right, the ergonomics of your body. You know, why not use something that's better suited for your hand? It's lighter on your wrist. It's just better. Lord forgive me for saying that. All the corded people, I love you. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Y'all see my Beyonce? Don't want to get my hair caught in it though, Lord Jesus. So, like I said, just the weight of them, the lightness, that's the difference. You know, power, the weight, the size of it. They seem like they're the same size, but a cordless clipper is a little bit bigger. For one, because the motor is bigger, it has to have somewhere to hold the plug, just all of that extra stuff that you don't necessarily need. Those add to the weight, the size, comfort, discomfort, all of those things. Nothing wrong with corded. Like I said, they work. They work. They're old school. Have a drawer full of them. They work. Sometimes these things go dead on me, and sometimes I pray, I wish that I had a corded, but it's like, let's just plug the cord. Now they corded. Now they corded. That's a 2-in-1. So why carry a bunch of tools when you can just have one? Gives you the same thing. Yes, it doesn't give you the same power, but yes, it gives you the same exact effect. Same effect. A fade is a fade. Good or bad, is it faded? You know what I mean? So it is what it is. All of these things you can get, of course, you guys know where you can get them from at your local, whatever. But this is super close. Like I said earlier, I haven't really tapped in on this yet because we've been talking about all the other stuff. How many people know what this is?
Cigarette pack.
Ooh, I like that. How many people have used it? Used it on a regular? Very, 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 very nice. Okay, when you use this, my advice is when you use this, you can get a shave powder. If you get shave powder, that makes the hair stand up like a zombie. Just, It's so much cleaner, so much softer, so much smoother on the shave. When you shave the person, you turn it on, it doesn't go It doesn't do that. It just glides across as if it's like Vaseline. Even though it's not Vaseline, it's powder, but it feels like it. It makes your shave so much easier, so much better. So if you're working in one of these shops where you lay the gentleman back and hot towel, old school, sometimes you'll miss some of those spots on the shave. Sometimes you're kind of scared to do across their Adam's apple because, you know, it might be big, their skin could be loose. Anything that you feel like you're not comfortable with sometimes. One tip, pull the skin to the side. The hair that you want to shave, pull it over to the side off of the apple. Slide it over. But if you don't have the ability to do that, once you finish doing your razor shave, go back in with this. Go in with this and go over the spots that you missed. There will be some. There won't be a lot, but there will be some. Especially, like I said, if you're not familiar or comfortable with gliding over the Adam's apple. It takes practice. So if you don't, I suggest you get this in your arsenal. They have from all different companies, Andis Wall, Babyliss, all different Remington, Norelco, whatever the case may be. Your most comfortable one that fits best in your hand, that suits for you, I suggest you get one, especially, like I said, if you do razor shaves and you're not comfortable with just going in these crevices, certain spots, just different stuff like that. And sometimes even on the back of the nape, all the way down here, you know, sometimes hair grows there when you're trying, you got to flip the shirt down, and that works really nice for that too. So that's just something that I suggest everybody adds into their arsenal. Yep. Are there any questions? Yes.
Can I just add to your suggestion? A lot of the times as hairdressers, as you know, we help out with the artistry of prosthetics with bowl cap. And the bowl, some of the makeup artists will suggest that you go and shave whatever. And this tool, the big one, helps to shave the back of the neck, even with the woman, even with the men, without them getting hurt and without them feeling that you're really cutting them back there. And the prosthetics lay a lot nicer, and you don't get fooled when they're taking off the prosthetics.
Yeah, it helps eliminate a lot of the redness, a lot of the irritation. Because when you have to, like she said, when you have to go in and cut or line or close shave anything, it can definitely irritate the skin. Go right ahead.
Just a reminder, once you hit the face, that goes under makeup. It's not the purview of the hairdresser.
Well, right now, I'm teaching a barber class, so I'm gonna teach that.
I'm just,
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, like he said, beard is for makeup. You know, when you're on set, when you are 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 on set in the trailer, when you're in the trailer, okay? When you are in the trailer, the beard does go with the makeup artist. If you decide as the barber that you think, even insist that you think you might want to touch the beard, you need to consult the makeup artist, because you will be stepping on their toes. You may be agitating something that they need. Next thing you know, HR is going to say, hey, Dom, we need to talk to you. So like I said, when you're on set or in the trailer, yes. But when you're in the barbershop or the salon, beard gang.
2 questions. How do you clean your close shaver?
Okay,
Because there's very ways of cleaning it,
yes.
but I want to know your way.
Okay,
And then second, sorry, guys.
no.
How do you know because it's happened to me, I've tightened my clippers too tight, you know? And so when you're cleaning, you know, when you take off the blade, you're like disinfecting or you're oiling it and everything. How do you know when you've done it too tight? Like, do you have a trick? Do you have a...
So when you say tighten the clippers,
The screws.
the blade
yes,
or the
'cause I
side?
remove them and I go deep after each show.
Okay.
So I get in there, and sometimes when I came back to a new show, I tightened it too tight.
How did you know it was too tight?
Well, the 2 other barbers told me on the trailer. Because I was like, something's happening. Because yes, I did know. Because I pinched, and I had to switch out my clipper. Thank God I had 3, but like I had to switch it out. But I want to know, what's your clue in knowing that you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, so a couple things. When you're putting your blade back on and you go to tighten it super tight like that, I always start off really tight. You can always go looser, but trying to get it tighter is, for me, that's more difficult. So I always start out tight. And then as I turn it on to know if the blade is doing this, like an Android. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. I'm an iPhone girl. Yes. I'm just kidding. Psych. No, I'm just... So look, when the blade kind of starts to stutter, when the blade stutters, that is one definite clue that is too tight. When you hear it whistling, like that kind of silent dog whistle. You guys know what I'm talking about? When you're in the trailer and you're like, what is that sound? It's like, maybe the Mariah Carey note. That. But it's like on a silent level. When you hear that, that's too tight. Loosen it, add a little bit of oil. I know when they're the perfect for me, when I go in and they be like, yeah. Baby, say it again. Say it again. Butter. Baby, butter. Butter. You know what I mean? Best next thing since sliced bread. When it does that movement and the hair just falls off. When you can go back in and just like stir fry, yes. When you can do that, that's how you know. But if it's not cutting to your visual liking, because you can see the hair cutting. You can see it cutting. If the hair is not cutting to your visual liking, that is how you know, baby, it's too tight. Go a little bit looser. So just continue to verbally look, like when you're doing color. When you're doing color, you can see it change with your eyes. We on the timer, I think maybe 2 more minutes. Same thing with your blade. Same thing with your blade. If it's too tight and you don't like how it's visually, if you got to go back in too many times, if it's just taking too much work, if it's taking too much work, just like a knife, if the knife is not sliding through the meat, you need to sharpen it. Same thing. If your tool is not gliding through the hair, it is too tight. Question 2, how to clean your super close shavers. Let me rephrase it. How Dominique cleans her super close shavers. She was specific, y'all. Y'all heard her, specific. So the lid comes off. Your blades, I don't want to take them off because your blades come off. When you take your blades off, I don't know if you guys have ever used blade cleaner, the liquid. So you can set those in your blade cleaner along with your top. Set it in your blade cleaner. It's gonna disinfect, loosen all the hair, loosen all of that stuff up on its own. I like to go in with a color brush, a tint brush. I like to go in with that because the brush is hard, it's straight, it's slender. It does what I need it to do. I just go in, you know what I mean, do the good detail like you're describing, rinse it off with warm water, wipe it down, then spray it with Cool Care or whichever Marvicide, Barbicide you decide to use after that, and I just let it air dry. Is that the method that you're, perfect. Any other questions? Please.
I'm not done the crossover, so I'm the only cosmetologist.
No problem.
I have 4 adult sons. I've barbered many years.
Okay.
The shaver is, I have it, I've used it. I experience though, hair bumps.
So,
I'm so scared of them because of that. Hold on 1 second, you gotta texture hair.
I was hoping somebody asked that. Okay. So right now her question, her statement necessarily was when she uses the close shavers on her sons, that she experiences irritation, razor bumps, all of these types of things. Do they have curly textured hair? Your son's black? Okay. So, sorry, African American. My bad.
Black.
Baby. So, with that being said, 9 times out of 10, this clipper is not designed for those textures, that skin. Sometimes, yes, it can be used here. See? Only here, like even when you use the straight razor. When you use a straight razor, when you go in on darker or colored skin, you know what I mean? It's just straight textured hair. I think it is because the hair is curly. So when the hair decides to grow out, it gets stuck under the skin. So they would need to do a ton of exfoliation, different things like that to break the skin for it to be able to come through. There really isn't anything that you can do to avoid that except for don't use it. So there's no need to be afraid of it because you were using it correctly. It's just not designed for your sons.
So it's been recommended to me to use the Andes one, the burgundy color one.
Okay.
Still a fair.
Okay. They all do the same thing. Yes, they all do the same thing. I suggest you just try to zero it in and just stick to what you know. Exactly.
The powder you said to use with the close shaver?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of powder is that again?
Excuse me, it's called shave powder.
Shave powder.
You can get any brand.
Okay, and that wouldn't even help with texture. Okay.
No, it wouldn't help. But it works really great for straight, fine hair, harder skin. So some African Americans, it works well for if they have hard skin. And when I say hard skin, I mean like, tough. Not just like baby soft. Like they've been through some stuff. But, other than that, it's just It is what it is, you know. Every tool isn't designed for everyone, which is why you take these classes and you read the directions, instructions to know what you can and can't use on who you can and can't use it on. You know what I mean? So that's why these things are so important. Like I said, thank you all for coming today, because these questions, they're actually like sharpening my knife. So iron is sharpening iron. Thank you all, like I said. Are there any other questions? Please? Anything. Nothing is small, nothing is simple, nothing is anything that you desire.
The direction of the razor. Usually a lot of people don't understand how to shape up or even take hair off of the skin. Like, I've been taught that it's basically slanted, like you're not going straight, of course, because you don't want to cut the skin, but you're gliding against the growth of the hair?
Mm-hmm. You're gliding with the growth.
With the growth of the hair. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to hear your input on razor, like, razor blades.
Razor blade. So a razor blade is something that you would need to take the crossover course for. Of course, we all know that. But my opinion on the razor blade, I really love it. I really enjoy using the razor blade. Do I enjoy going over the Adam's apple? No. But I've developed the side swipe. But I feel like once you use that razor and get that cleanliness, baby, the sharpness of the C or the L, whatever desire that you desire, once you use the razor and you receive that line, you will never go back. You will never go back. When you hold the razor, there's all different techniques, but I like this. Pinkies up, baby, because it's the T. So when you go in, plus I feel like sometimes it gives you space to move stuff, hold stuff, just different stuff like that. The more fingers you can use, the better it will be. When you use at a certain angle, like she stated, of course, it's glides, just butter. But if you go straight on, chop suey, you know what I mean? You're gonna be leaving out there with a ton of nick relief on them. Baby, and that stuff be stinging. Jesus. So, with that being said, like, razors it's a gift. You can use it or you can't. It's definitely something that you can be taught. It is a craft that can be honed. If you can't use it, don't give up on yourself. Just take practice. Find you a balloon, or how, I haven't taken school in so long. Oh, it's still the balloon? Okay. Get the balloon. Practice your 13 steps. Oh, boom. There it is. I love it. It's the Adam's apple. Yes. Oh, you got to get the mic.
Which I thought was good because it has little hairs on it. It said kiwi.
Oh, yeah. I never thought of that. Yeah, right? Oh, wow. That is a great one. A kiwi. Wow, that's great. That is great. I might have to practice that. Okay. So as you all know, different hair textures, different hair types. You know what I mean? The coarse, thick, fine, coily, curly, wavy, straight. All of this hair type, hair textures, they all can be clipper cut. They all can be clipper cut. Some of them are designed, they work best, like he said, with the shears, but everybody ain't gifted like that. No matter how long you've been cutting or styling hair. Everybody ain't a shear god. Some of us still cut like Pac-Man. You know what I mean? I look at it like this. I'm eating the hair, baby. Baby. See? We'll take it. It still works. You know what I mean? Like I said, whatever technique is best for you, use it. Is there a proper way? Yeah, but that hurts because I'm not used to it. So it is what it is. But like I said, all of those textures and hair types, they all can be cut with all of your clippers. All of your clippers except your shavers. Your shaver is the one that you have to kind of bounce around about. But other than that, for the most part, you're okay. So getting into, oh yes.
Hello. I've seen some barbers have like 1,000,000 clippers and liners, and then you mentioned like traveling. Is it possible to have just like two, like a liner and a clipper?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to.
And there's no difference in what's gonna happen?
It's all preference. Some people only use a certain liner for a balder. Some people only use a certain liner to edge you up. Some people only use a certain clipper to take down the bulk.
Okay.
Some people only use a certain, that stuff gets heavy. No matter how light the clippers are, that stuff gets heavy. You know what I mean? I am okay with one clipper. I honestly, when I travel, I carry two of each, 2 sets, in case one dies, because I use cordless. So if I'm in the middle, boom, it dies, set it down, pick up the next one. They don't even know what happened. They don't even know what happened. They think I went and grabbed the blade or a new guard, or they don't even know what happened. Boom, keep it rolling. Stir fry, baby, stir fry. So it's just like I don't feel like you need all of those things. I use 2 liners, 2 clippers, and I keep my shavers. This is my setup, ex-nay this. I brought this to show you guys, which I'll say y'all know about it. All right. So this in real time is my setup for when I travel, when I move around with people, when I go to do TV shows or whatever it is that I'm doing. I do not desire to carry a ton of stuff. I got back problems already. I do hair. You know what I mean? I don't have that. Oh, I got a joke. So why do hairstylists, what is a hairstylist's favorite holiday? Halloween, because we always wearing black. I mean, we do. Hey, man, I ain't no dad, but I like dad jokes, though. You know what I mean? Hey, man. It makes the time go by, you know? We got 90 minutes. Huh? Facts. So, when it comes to doing hair, it's best for you to either know for sure or at least be able to assume what the head shape is. So in your head, if you know what the shape is, their face stance, you can somewhat visualize the hairstyle before you even give it to them. When a lady comes in or a male comes in and they say, I want some layers on the top, or I want some beach curls, in your head you're like, got you. You know why? That is because you know these things. Without even knowing them, you know what the head shape is. You know what's ideal to look perfect on that head shape. You know what I mean? When you look at people like, what is it? Idris, baby. What'd you say? What y'all say? Woo. So we gonna say that. We gonna say, my Idris in the back. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at Idris, you already know in your head, you can say, he can wear anything. He can wear any style. Any style looks good on him. In my head, I can look at him and say, I think braids will look good. I think. That's because he has an oval shaped head. The ideal shape is proportionate in all angles, top, bottom, side. Not square, right? Perfect. They want to wear a long beard, he can, which is why he always has that little peak. Then you got a round face, circular. They always need like that kind of height, the comb over or the side part or something like that. That's because they have a round face shape, like Leonardo DiCaprio. He always has that same kind of, never switch up. That's because he can't. It's because he can't. He would like to, which is why he tries to do little goatees and, you know what I mean, mustache here or there, but I don't care. Whatever movie he's in, he looks like Leo. Period. Then you got the square head, square, chiseled Superman. The crimson chin for y'all that got kids. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's just a chiseled jawline. When they wear the chiseled jawline, everything is close in. It's always gonna be close. Even if you don't want it, it's just gonna be close in because it complements their head shape. Gentleman in the back, what's your name? Right here. So your haircut is the perfect example of a square style Superman look because it's just perfect on the side. He has that good comb over with the layer, you know what I mean? It adds the little movement. So it is what it is. When you wear certain haircuts, you have to wear what's best for you. And that is a perfect example of a haircut that looks best for your hair shape, your head shape. Yeah, good job, guys. Question in the back.
Dominique, what do you do? Hold on.
She said, damn.
But what do you do when you get a guy with full hair and you have to fade him up and then you cut and you're like, damn, there's a divot. And like, it just doesn't look right. And then like, do you feel it out? Like what?
Babe, so look.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
And you're like, damn.
So when you guys get a person with a thick full of hair, even a woman, you guys go in there, correct? You go in there just to feel around and see what you're working with. What if this person has a cut? What if they have a bald spot? What if anything like that? You're gonna always dig up in there and feel around. So if I feel something like that, I'm not gonna go close up to the skin unless they ask. I'm always gonna leave hair off of it to cover up the hot dog. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, a little couple Vienna sausages back there. You gotta leave a little hair right there to cover that. You know what I mean? We get hungry standing in line. Child. So with that being said, to answer her question, I always try to feel around in there to kind of see what I'm working with, to see what I'm doing, to see how it's gonna go, just so I can know prior what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? Once I feel around in there, if, like I said, they got the little Oscar Myers, you leave some hair to cover because comfort is key. Why do you think they've grown their hair out that long? Comfort is key. Know what you're dealing with before you jump in. Any other questions? You got a question, man?
No, there are no Vienna sausages back
Yeah.
there. You good.
I love that. I love that. Question in the back.
What do you do? Oh, hi. What do you do if you get that occipital shelf back there? Do you have a trick for that?
Okay, so 9 times out of 10, that means their head is round. Their head is round. So when their head is round, I like to give, you guys might recognize it as like a mid fade, a drop fade, a low fade, anything that drops up under that bone. Because no one wants the hook of their head showing.
Right.
Even though, yes, it's called the occipital bone. But when you're standing in line at Stater Brothers, they don't know that. They don't know that. Like I said, comfort is key. You know what I mean? When you're standing, you want to be stunned. I ain't got no Viennas or no shelf showing. It is what it is, you know, but you always, I like to give a taper, go in with a taper, or even, like I said, leave length. You know what I mean? But the desired haircut for that is a close taper because it gives that round kind of look. Anything like that. Sunday bowl, banana split shape, anything like that. Any other questions? You got one. I seen your hand. I seen your hand. You started. You. Okay. Any questions? None? I've covered everything.
What shape do I have? What shape head is mine?
Baby, you is oval. You is perfect.
Love it. Yes.
You is perfect. Oval. Giving face. Face card never declines. She did know that. She knew that. She knew that.
I got a question.
Yes.
Can I go into a question about haircuts now?
Please.
So with the fade, right? And we using the clipper, the liners.
Okay.
How do you prefer to use your liner blade? Do you like to go up clean, or do you like to use the back going up clean, or bring it down clean?
Well, it kind of depends. It depends on how their hair grows. But I always take the blade and lay the blade against their skin. I never go like this. So if their hair grows up, I always take the blade and flip it down against and just go down.
And that's with the angle of the blade that you have, and like you're using the back of that angle, right? That blade.
So if this is the back of their head, I take this and lay this against the skin and clip like this. Versus, see, it's leaving marks. So you always want to try to comfort is key. And if it goes up, same thing. I'd advise you not to cut them. Just don't. Just save yourself.
How about a shaved?
Yeah, so you also have other head shapes, you know, rectangle, heart, diamond, triangle. You all know those in your head. You know the hairstyles that fit those properly. We all do. If you don't, please feel free to Google and look it up on your spare time. Are there any other questions before we move into Cynia's hair?
Since we're getting into the haircut portion, and as a hairstylist, I'm noticing regrowth.
Okay.
How do you take that into account? Would you be coloring end or root, or just blending that into the new haircut?
Well, you would do it as at their request. So if they desire a grow out, then you would cut it accordingly. If they desire a touch up, you would cut it accordingly. If they desire a new haircut, a new color, whatever, you would do those things accordingly. Same as you do in cosmetology. Same aspect, barbering. So what you want to get today? Same thing. Same thing. Consultation. Speaking of consultation, great lead-in, guy. What you want to get, Cynia?
I'm not worried about the color differential right now.
Okay.
So I would love for you to take some of the weight, like just kind of, it's too long on the side. So I am growing it out, but I need a shape, some allure.
Okay.
And I would love to leave as much as possible on the top and throughout the back, like toward the occipital bone. So not a high top fade, not a Kid and Play-esque situation.
Yeah.
So please don't bring it so high up on the side.
Okay. Something like a Cousin Skeeter.
Cousin Skeeter-ish. Yes, you feel where I'm going.
Y'all know Cousin Skeeter? From Doug? Sorry.
I'm with you.
Okay, so just to round that about, I'm gonna turn you around.
Okay. I can set it
Nope.
down. Nope. Right here.
So just to round that about, you all heard she wants to keep a lot of this length. She wants to keep a lot of this length. So we'll be bringing all of this down, her sides, her back, giving her a great shape, not straight up. It's not going to be straight up. It's going to be up and kind of rounded, kind of like a cone. Somewhat like a cone. That's what we're going to be going for today, because it's going to still leave so much length on her side. But on the nape of her neck, we are going to taper that down. Hopefully, if we have time, I can show you guys a nice little design. You know, if we have time, it's very simple. Designs are letters, so we'll get into that too. So if we have time, like I said, we'll bring that down and give you a small design. And if we have time, I brought another model. I can show you guys a beard trim. So please, as I'm working, if you guys have questions about the haircut or anything like that while I am working, please feel free to ask. Please feel free. You don't have to wait until the end. Please feel free to ask while we're doing it. So this is the cape. I did this when I was working. I know, right? I did a campaign with them. You guys know about Sanex, of course. We all do here. I'm gonna bring you to the side.
What brand is that, Dominique?
I don't know. I just went on Amazon. Yeah, I just went on. Yeah, I love pink, girl. It's my favorite color. Yeah. So I just went ahead. And it sticks to itself. Yeah, you don't have to tie it, tuck it. So, like I said, we're going to be leaving a lot of her length on here. A lot of her length. So we're just going to go ahead and start with combing her hair out. You know, you need to see what you're in. Even though I'm experienced in her hair, I always still like to go in and see what's thick, see what's short, see what isn't, because sometimes hair can deceive you. You think it's shorter than what it is. You think it's longer, thicker, whatever the case may be. You think all of these things are what they aren't. So you just kind of try to comb it out. Hold your head, Sania.
I remember.
Yes, girlfriend. So I like to use a pick on Sania's hair just because it fluffs it out the way that I need to see it. Whatever comb you desire works best for you is fine. But I like to use this in specific. Sometimes I'll use this one. And it has a little wavy teeth. You guys like the wavy teeth comb? Yeah, perfect, thank you. I like the wavy teeth comb because it grabs the hair. It doesn't just slide through it. It actually kind of like grabs it and combs it out. Example, hold your head. It just grabs, it doesn't glide. So it just gets in deeper for a more cleaner comb. This, I love this. It's by Barber Love. It holds all my clippers, all my guards. So we're gonna start off on her hair. She doesn't want it super low, like you guys heard her say. So I always like to go big to small, because when you go from big to small, that gives you space for mistakes. If you start in too close, baby, setting yourself up for failure. Off top. Just start big if you can. I'm gonna be starting today with a 3, just because I wanna see how far in. I feel like a 3 is somewhat, it's long, but it's short, but it's long, but it's short.
Do you need to talk about my hair type, texture, or anything like that?
Oh, girl, she does natural hair. That's why she's concerned. Yeah, you know what? Sunny has coily hair, very coily. This hair texture, for me, I feel like it does everything. When you lay it down flat, it waves up. When you want to straighten it, it straightens. Whatever texture you desire. I feel like this, to me, this is the best because it's coarse, it's thick. So when you curl it, it holds the curl. It doesn't drop the curl. As if you try to curl thin hair, sometimes you got to use a ton of hairspray. When you have coarse or thicker style hair, even curly hair, it holds a curl better. It is what it is. So for me, this is the best hair texture for cutting, curling, anything like that. Now, if you want to wear bone straight hair is. But if you want a textured style, coarse, thick, curly, coily hair is best. Start off with the number 3. I like to go in, just kind of feel to the side. I'm gonna turn it to the side so they can see. Just kind of go in. And she doesn't want it super down to the scalp. So that is, a 3 is a little, I feel like it might be a little close, but I'm not sure yet. So with that being said, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get a larger guard because like I said, large is key. Gives you a space to mess up on or to be perfect in. This is a number 8, which is a full 1 inch. Just start all the way up. Lean over a little. And with it being so large, you can kind of go in. And see, this is too long because it's still somewhat leaving the color. She says she don't want no color. She wants that down. But we're gonna go ahead and still start there. No, this guard is not going down to the skin. This guard is not going down to the skin. This is a 1 inch guard, so it's leaving 1 inch of hair. Yes, yes, this guard is gliding against the skin, her scalp. Yes, yes. This goes up closer against her scalp, yes, like that. Just so I can have a better gauge. So head down just a smidge. So when you go in, I like to go in with the grain because when you go in with the grain, it lays the hair flat. As opposed to if you go against the grain, it makes the hair stand up, more like an afro. So when you go with the grain, it allows for an already kind of faded look. See what I mean? And turn her to the side. See the graduation already. That's because I went with the grain. If I went against it, it would look like a shelf, like she desired with the hook, occipital. Question?
Is there a difference with the clipper over comb? Sorry.
Yes.
Holding it with your hand.
Yeah, you can hold it with your hand over clipper over comb. Yeah, it just doesn't give, clipper over comb is designed to give you that straight type of edge. If you use a clipper over comb with your finger, it doesn't give you that, you can do a full haircut with a clipper over comb. So it's just, it doesn't give you that same sharpness. But yes, to answer your question, yes, you can. But that is the difference between a comb and a pull-out. A pull-out is safety. Pull-out is safety.
So my question is kind of related. So you're holding it with your hand as you kind of guide the clipper through. Is that for your comfort, her comfort, just the way that you like to do it?
It's for my comfort.
Okay.
Yes, this is for my comfort because at the end of the day, results matter. Results matter. At the end of the day, results matter. So no matter what technique you're using, if you're not getting the desired result, so I'm gonna do everything I can to help get the desired result. So if that means doing an extra step, head down just a smidge. If that means doing the extra step of pulling her hair out so I can see the length, then that is what I will do.
Dominique, to, I guess, dovetail off of that question, with coily hair, stretching it out, does that mess, well, obviously you're the barber, so you know what you're doing, but like stretching the hair out, can that mess us up sometimes?
When you use the term mess us up, what do you mean?
We cut it shorter than we wanted to because we stretched it out before we cut it.
Well, I like to stretch it out so I can see. So when it's shriveled up to the hair, you think it's shorter than what it really is. So when I pull it out, I can see. So I always kind of pull it out to give me the gauge, the guide of how long it is. So when I pull it out, I can see if it's 4 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches. So when I see that, in my head, I can make the decision of how long or short I want to set the guide for.
And you're also, as you're pulling it, you're also gauging the recoil, I guess, of the hair as you're doing it.
All of those things, because when you're doing textured hair, all of those things matter. Because you could think it's short, but when you pull it out, it's super long. So I always pull out just to make sure so I can see, especially when they come in with so much length. You can't see any other way. So I'm gonna go ahead and comb her hair downwards because I want her hair to lay in a downward forward motion. So the hair that is black, that is what I wanna lay down. The hair that has been colored, that is the hair that I would like to stand up because that is the hair that we're gonna be shaping. That's the hair that we're gonna be shaping. So now that I can somewhat see, I'm gonna go back down to the 3 guard because now I know where I'm at. Now I can see the length, the size, no guesses, no anything. I've already prompted her hairstyle to go in the direction that I want, which is a cone style. Let's bring you to the front. See, it's not straight. Because that is gonna give the desired look for her head shape. Even though it's perfect, she can wear whatever she wants. So with that being said, I just have the ability, like I said, to see. So I can kind of guide in with, go ahead, yes. No, please.
Since you're no longer working on the scalp with a guide,
I will be tapping her scalp with this guide, yes. This is the 3 guard.
oh, okay.
I will be gliding against her scalp with this guard, yes.
That was my question. If you're that much further away, then you wouldn't need a guard at all.
Please elaborate.
If I'm seeing this right, that you went in at first with a 3, but that was too close.
Mm-hmm.
So you went in with the 1 inch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but now you're going back to the 3, which is shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me means you're staying, are you cutting now much closer to the head?
Yes.
Okay.
Now I'm creating the graduation of the fade.
Okay, so the 3 guide is still touching the scalp.
Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to touch the scalp initially because I didn't know how long her hair was, which was why I went ahead and took off the bulk. So now I can see where she's at. See? No problem, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because it seemed like you were going closer than further, and I'm like, if you were off the scalp, there would be no need for a guard. Does that make sense?
Well, right now I am going closer into her scalp. Yes. Does that answer your to the best? Okay, perfect. Yes, so these are adjustable clippers. This is your adjustment lever. This is closed, this is open. I'm so used to maybe stir fry. So this is open. So I always like to start off when I go in, open. Open allots for a lot of hair. Closed, no hair. So when you want to take your length in steps, just start open. Start open. That gives you the space to know, I can go a little bit closer. I can go a little bit closer versus going from long to short. It gives you the graduation space to do these things. I am an ambidextrous barber. Sometimes I use both hands. If you have the ability to do that, I suggest you hone that. But today, class purposes, we are right-handed. So if you are right-handed, this is the side that you would stand from. When you use this is the forward blade, the forward graze with the grain. Going with the grain allows for you to style the hair while cutting the hair. So you see how it's just laying. That is because we're going with the grain. I'm gonna show you against the grain, open. Against the grain, open would probably be an equivalent to, a 3 open would probably be an equivalent to maybe a 5 with the grain, or actually maybe like a 2, because it gets kind of shorter. You'll see. So this is with the grain, this is against. Lino, perfect. See how it took more hair off. It thins out the hair. When you go with the grain, it keeps it thick. It layers the hair on top of itself. When you cut against the grain, it thins it out. So if you want more scalp to show, or you want a more manageable type of fade or type of blend, you would go against the grain. If you want a more thicker, darker, kind of a Caesar look that you guys hear gentlemen describe, you would go with the grain because that layers the hair on top of each other. So I like I said, to go with the grain just to make sure I can ensure her length, her desired style. I close it a little. You get a little shorter. You guys have any questions? Okay. So at this moment, that feel, that is the feel that you know when you're getting close. Because you can see the scalp. She's literally describing, I don't want to be too bald, but I do want it short. This is the moment that you go in and you grab your brush. Because at this moment, you can kind of see how it lays, how it waves up if you desire that effect. It's kind of like you're whooping the hair. You're making it do what you want it to do. This gives you the look that you want. So when it's laid down flat like this, see how it's laying? The angle that it's laying at, the shape that it's turning into. If you do not do your first guide, pulling the hair out, looking at it, gauging the length, you will be stuck. This will turn into up here. Yes. This will turn into up here. So you have to set your first guide. It is so important, which is why, excuse me, which is why I always stress going from big to small. You know what I mean? In our weight, yeah, it's easy to go from small to big. Easy, baby. So easy, so easy. It's easier going from here to here when it comes to weight, baby. But hair, yeah, start big and go to small. It allows for you to have space. If you don't have that space, like I said, she gonna have a helmet and not a haircut. She gonna be forced wearing a hat. You're not gonna get paid. So with all that being said, like I said, go from big to small. Set your guideline, set your shape initially. So once you have set your shape initially, then you can go back and continue with the shape that you're desiring. You can already see it. I don't need to describe it. That comes from a consultation. That's how important consultations really are. We think that when we come in, this is a 2-guard that I'm switching to right now because we're gonna go even closer in. I'm gonna start open. When we go into doing hair, we think since we've been doing hair so long that I know what I'm doing. I don't necessarily need, or I can cut this corner, or I can, and then what happens? We've all been in that rut. We've all been in that mess. So always give yourself the space and opportunity. Always give yourself the space and opportunity to correct whatever it is that you don't desire. So the client does not know that you've made this said mistake. They don't have to know. A haircut is a haircut, you know what I mean? So just go ahead and get that in there. So at this moment, I've already went in closer to Sania's scalp with the number 2 blade. I'm gonna go ahead, bring that out, because now I wanna go in and start with the shape of her haircut. Because at this moment, I don't know if I wanna go closer or not on the sides. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that she has a specific shape. So at this moment, I'm gonna go ahead and go in, pick her hair out, take the guard off. For me, it's easier to do it without the guard. Brush her fade in how I desire. Then you take the guard. Some of you guys will need to leave it open because you don't have the experience. I like to close it, close the guard. Then go in and shape the hair against the head. The same technique that you would use if you were using your shears. See how clean that is? So much easier. So you just go in, shape that off. This is an afro that we're doing on top, a textured afro at that. And she's going to wear, like I said, somewhat of the slant box type comb. So you see that? See how quick that was? Versus trying to do it with the shears. I love shears, but baby, clippers. Take that clipper, close it. It turns into an electric shear. Close it. Just lay it up against the hair. Cut what you want to cut as if you were using your shears. Just graze it across. There's no need to do this. You know, that's not the good noise, baby. Not the good noise. That's the bad noise. Woo, not the good noise. You know what I mean?
I'm so glad that thing was not on.
Baby, that's the desired effect. You know what I mean? So with that being said, we've already went ahead and trimmed some of it. So we're gonna go ahead, comb it out to see where we're at. See where that is? Y'all see that shade? Y'all see that shade? So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the other side.
Do you always cut from side to side, Dominique, like one side and then the next, or you kind of flow in between?
Sometimes it just kind of depends on the client. Depends on.
Do you always cut hair from side to side, or do you go float in between?
Sometimes it kind of depends on the client. It depends on if we have the mirror there. If the mirror is facing one way, depending on if I'm on set or if I'm in the shop. If I'm in the shop, I like to move around because in the barbershop, everybody is facing everybody. So it's a very communal place. So in the shop, I just kind of side to side, side to side. But when you're in the salon, you know, they're facing the mirror, so it's still side to side. But when you're at home or doing your son or, you know what I mean? Whatever, then you just cut however it's convenient for you. But I like to kind of go either way. And as you guys can see right now, I'm doing no guard cutting. I'm shaping all of her hair with no guard, even the fade.
Do you ever, or when you're teaching someone who hasn't done a lot of this with the no guard for the shaping, do you ever use a comb? Do you teach someone with a comb?
So can you elaborate on the question?
So you're using no guard to kind of shape the top and blend everything in. Would you ever use a comb or suggest a comb for someone who isn't as comfortable?
Not on this hair. No, not on this texture. Not on more of a finer, straight style, yes. But on this texture, no. Yes, this texture is easier with no guard because it stands up on its own, even when it's wet.
Do you offer any type of classes?
I've never offered any classes, no ma'am. But if you would like to, I guess, learn, we could talk. Yeah, I have no problem. But yeah, when it comes to this texture of hair, this is the best. Curly, coily, this is the best texture to cut without a guard. So now do you see like the difference from the sides that I used a guard on when it comes to the fade as opposed to when I didn't? It's still a little thick. Still a little, even though it's the same length, it's still a little thick on this side because the guard has not grazed against her skin. This is still an afro. This is a fade. This side is an afro. That's why it's not laying the way that you desire. Even though it's laying, it just still has length, bulk. It's not flat. That's the difference between guard cutting and no guard cutting. No guard cutting consists of more of an afro look, more of a longer length, fluffier look. When you use your guards, it gives you a more defined, see what I mean? More defined. See how I just took all of that off? It took all of that off. From the difference from here to here, you can see it visually. That is the importance of knowing how to use your guards. You can interchange your guards from with the grain and against the grain. Learning your guards is important because if you know your guards, then you don't always have to go with the grain. You could kind of go against the grain. Like I know that a 1.5 with the grain is like a 3 to a 4 against the grain. So if you're not comfortable, just learn your guards and how to interchange them. So when it's against the grain, it leaves more hair, but it thins it out.
No, I mean when you said.
So a 1.5 with the grain is an equivalent to like, for example, a 3 or 4 length guard with against the grain. So if you put the 1.5 and you go this way with it, that's with the grain. That's a 1.5. If you desire to put a 3 to a 4 and you go against it, you're still gonna get the desired effect. It's just gonna be much thinner. So instead of jet black, it's gonna be the acid wash black. You know what I mean? That's just how my brain works, sorry, y'all. But, so that's just the importance of, see what I mean? Now we've taken that in, you could see that. You could see every bit of that. Question?
Yeah, if you were cutting someone who didn't have natural textured hair, straight or wavy, would you still use the same techniques going with the grain and against the grain? Would it still do the same thing?
It depends on if their hair lays flat. I know you guys have seen some of these gentlemen that have the short haircut and they comb it forward. Even though it's straight, they still kind of comb it forward. Sometimes you can use that technique, sometimes you can't. It's your discernment as the stylist. You have to know that as the stylist, which goes into, let's see, you know what I mean? It goes into that. So you would have to know, and plus from your consultation and talking to the client, you would know how that works. So I'm gonna go ahead and comb her hair out with the comb because I want it to all go in one direction, not necessarily pick out. I like to do a little finger combing because it allows for me to see how I want it to lay and where I need to go in to make sure that it's laying proper. So if I know I want this to come up, I'm gonna start splitting it there. See, you can kind of see the style already. Just off of that, those small aspects. So right now I'm gonna go in and go ahead and line her just so I can see where and how much further I want the fade to go in. Do you want this? All right, all right.
Or as opposed to what?
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you, Bo. She's perfect, isn't she? Give it up for Sania. Yes. It's perfect. So I'm gonna go in with the liners. I'm gonna stand off to the side. It may look awkward just because of, but I like to go ahead and lay it in. To me, lines are like letters. So this would be a C. So you would start it off as a C or however their natural line is. But 9 times out of 10, that's that C. So I go up. Can you guys see? Oh, perfect, yay. So I go up here and I kind of stop where I know it's gonna start to curve. So I go straight there and then I go up and make that curve. And then I bring it back down to clean it. It only looks that simple because I've been doing it a long time. It's not that simple. It's not. It's not. I'm gonna say it again. You go ahead and go in, make that first straight line. Stop it where you know the curve is going to begin. First straight line. Then when you get to there, sometimes you might have to actually make another straight line like the letter K. Sometimes you might have to make a letter K and then go in and take that point and make that a nice, you know what I mean? So if you can translate that, take a K and make it into a C. That'll give you that curve. Here's the K, like that. Uh-huh. That's the K. Do it on this side as well. And that's her line.
When you're doing the connection, you're lifting it off and using more of the point then?
If you desire to do the C effect, yes. If you desire a C, then yes, you would use your tip. For someone that's not as experienced, they would use the blade and do a letter K.
Even on a K, when you do the top straight and the bottom straight, you'd still lift it to the tip.
Yes, you would still need to use your tip to create the curve. Yes. So make sure you're light-handed and not digging. It happens to the best of us. Yes, ma'am.
I've always used the other edger. I forgot what the other tool is called. Yours has a colorful design on the front of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, did I misunderstand? Because I have both pieces, but I've always used that.
Okay, I can use this one.
Okay.
They work exactly the same.
Thank you.
Of course. And did you have a question? Okay. Okay.
I always found that because it's narrower, the tip is narrower.
Okay.
You get around the ears there, like what you're doing now.
Uh-huh. Yes, it's more, it's smaller, so of course it's much easier to glide in because it's smaller, yes. Uh-huh. So you see how I went around her ear like that? If you do not do that, baby will have a whole bunch of ants back here. That's what I call them. I know, right? That's what I call them, little ants. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. Have a whole bunch of those.
The difference between a finished look.
Yes, literally, that is the difference between a finished look and not a finished look. You guys have been so entertaining today. I've really enjoyed this class. I felt like 90 minutes was a long time, but it seems like it was not long enough. I mean, when they bring me in, I'll continue. Especially now we in a strike. What y'all think about the strike, y'all? How y'all? She said, "Boom, boom."
I got a question about the liners.
Yes.
What's your preference? Do you like the T out liners because of the out?
Yeah, I like a blade. I like the T. Right. Yes. I feel like the T is more precise at what I want to do.
Right.
Of course.
What would you use the other ones for?
The square, I don't use them.
Me either. Okay.
Yeah, I don't use them. Yeah, it's literally just preference. I do not use them. All right, guys, she said we got 5 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, please ask away. You got a question. You got a question. No, I'm kidding. No. What's your Instagram handle? Barber Doll the Slayer. Yeah, I am a regular person. Please feel free to reach out to me.
I had a question about the shaver shaper.
Yes.
When you use it, when I was taught to use it, I was taught you could kind of use it in a couple different directions, like use it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that as well? This is more of an opinion. When you use it, do you like shifting directions with it?
Yes.
Going up, going down, like.
Yes, because the hair grows in so many different directions. So if you try to just use the shaver in one direction, the goal won't be met. It'll still feel like hair. It'll still feel like, This is the 1.5, 1.5 guard. I'm gonna go ahead and knock her nape in just a little bit more. Bring her down some. Okay.
So earlier, I think you said you do hair too?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay, so do you do hair and barbering when you work on set?
If they ask, yes. Most of the time when I'm brought in, they would bring me in for barbering, and just because that's my special skill. So it's just easier for them to find a hairstylist, you know what I mean, versus finding a barber. So I only do that if they require. So this is a balm, a hair product that she really loves. Big Papa, is that what this is? The Dew? Which one is this? This is cream. This is the Dew.
Cream. Yeah, the Dew. I love her products. They sell them at Cosmoprof now, which was like huge, right? Because I was having to go to Target to get that foam for my clients. But I'll use the Mousse Def if I need a quick like twist out. So for my hair, I would put 2-strand twist with that Mousse Def and then sit under the dryer and then pull them apart. The Big Papa gel would be more for like a wash and go. So if I were to wet my hair completely, I would go in and like shingle each curl.
Shingling is
a term that you use when you're defining the coil or curl. So there's a tool that I love. I found it at Sally's. It's a 3-row comb. And so if you have a client with very curly or coily hair, you can go in section by section with your product and literally perfect that curl with your comb. And then you'll just do that throughout the whole head, then fully let it dry under a hooded dryer. You want to get an even dry, not an air dry, because then it'll just fluff back out. And then once it's completely dry, then you can fluff it back out with your pick. And so I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So Dominique's hooking it up. I don't know what's happening.
Right now
I'm just grateful I have a cute shape
The
finally.
comb you talking about,
Yes.
the 3, That's the original teasing brush.
Is it?
From back in the 90s.
See, I didn't go to school until 20-something.
Yes,
so.
but it works great for, it's great for curly hair.
That's the
So now
original
it's used for
teasing
curly hair, yeah. But it was an original teasing brush, yeah.
Question. Got a couple prizes for you guys. So I hope y'all was listening. First question about me. All the way to the beginning. How many trophies do I have?
10.
Ooh, girl, you better swing that out there. Oh, yes. I got 10 first place trophies, yes. So when this is done, please come see me. I have a pair of clippers for you. I have a pair of clippers for you. Another question. What guard can transition from the 1.5 with the grain? What guard do you use to go against the grain? Booyah! Come and get a pair of clippers. What is her name? Sania. Nah, you can't get to. Overachiever. Somebody else. Let me think of another question. What is this called? I need the whole name out loud. Whoever said that, booyah, that is the answer. You miss cordless, boo. Yeah. Sorry. You would either have corded. Booyah, see? He was listening. He don't get no clippers, but he was listening. But like I said, my name is Dominique Evans. Please follow me on Instagram at Barbadoll the Slayer. This is Sania. Please follow her on Instagram. Her Instagram name is Sania Yahar. Sahar, excuse me. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Please have me again. Thank you.